let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the dance. It's Saturday in Coco Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine all the time, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the dam. Let them come, let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the dance. It's Saturday in Coco Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine all the time, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the dam. Let them come, let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we call them.
Are we in?
Fuck, like.
Yeah,
You're on the show, not here.
that's supposed to be
No, because it's going for that. Sorry about that.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Sorry we're slightly late. Would you believe that was 30 seconds to go, Joe? That song?
Don't worry, Peter.
Yeah. It was only me and Joe in the stream.
It's like a last-minute winner. Cheers.
He was. No last.
What's one of them?
Cup two.
Yeah. No last-minute winners for us. How are we doing, chaps?
Cup 2, 3, 3.
Good.
All good.
All good, all good.
You're a little bit dark, Pete, but you're all right.
Yeah, just just walked in the door.
That's all right, mate. We forgive you. It's been a busy day for us all,
Yeah.
especially in SE16. You might not, if you boys have been out, you might not even seen all the news. But it's
Well,
all.
the phone's gone mad.
happening.
I've been working, so I'm not had to see all the texts and all that. You know.
Well, welcome to the show. You're just about to get filled in.
Right. Okay. Literally, yeah.
Yeah, no, not literally, but well, there's a little story behind one of the potential signings. How are we, chaps? All right?
All good.
Getting there slowly.
I think Kenny lives in the next road to me. I'm sure I just heard you go past on 2 wheels.
It's roller skates, with it?
Oh, mate, you got to laugh, haven't you? Especially after last night. Let's not fuck about, boys. Let's dive straight into last night. Someone take us away.
It was just we've been there so many times before, haven't we? I mean, a great opportunity to win that game and get like a big draw in the next round. And I know, like I said, in seeing Harris' report saying about he's had players or like the fans are like not going to say like play Maku, play Langstarp and all that. And he played them last night, and they put in a shit show, didn't they? Right? And it's sort of like he's sort of going, well, look, I'm right all along. They're not ready, and they will not be playing or in the next, foreseeable future, because he was right and we're all wrong. And it was basically every single one of them players. You think, come on, it's a game, it's a time to like really shine against a League Two side, and every one of them let us down. Every one of them. Well, I mean, we didn't have a shot on target.
Do you know what? I was thinking about you last night, Pete. You know when you always say, see how dirty their goalkeeper is at the end of the game, and that's how well
right.
you played.
Yeah. Clean as a whistle.
Yeah, just put it straight back in
the old den, goalkeeper come off the pitch filthy.
Yeah.
Because, being in a game last night was just a walk in the park, Robin. Joe Bryan getting ripped. A lot of our defenders getting ripped, very slow. Midfield non-existent. Getting forward non-existent. No balls to the front players. And I think there was one time we were playing one up front, wasn't we? Is that right?
Yeah, here you go. I've got it there.
Yeah,
Look,
most of the game, yeah.
There you go.
that was a starting lineup.
It's Leyton Orient, for Christ's sake.
I know. It's the honeymoon thing as well for me, and I've said that in my post-match today. Like, everyone's like Langstaff, to me, not on the same level as Bradshaw. When Bradshaw proved that when he came on, he obviously is now injured. But who would score goals in this team? I don't think Haaland would. We're so inverted. We're so determined to defend before anything else. It's terrible, isn't it?
It ain't about who will score goals. Who will make the chances?
Yeah.
There's no creative spark there at all.
Nothing. Even from the middle, going through the middle, or coming down the wings. That Langstaff, if you watch that when he played Notts County, I bet they had wingers, and I bet they was getting fast down the lines and crossing the ball in the box for him. Things like that. We've got no wingers, got no forward-thinking midfielders. They're all sideward thinking. Before you spread the ball sideward, everyone's back. There's no surprise and no speed. It's very, very lethargic. And it's interesting to watch.
I meant to call the post-match a team full of crabs, but I ended up calling it something else. Please listen, I think, which ended up sounding like I was begging for views. But you said about no wingers, Pete. Ken, you was at the Watford game. We played the inverted wingers, and then we played the one up front. And the minute it's going tits up, we went to wingers on the wings that their preferred foot was. They was getting the touchline. Again, balls into the box for the two strikers. We got back into the game. It's like saying like the definition of madness. It's worse than that because it didn't work against Watford. We was 2-0 down. All right, we changed it. But now he's gone back to it at the start of every game instead of... And I do understand it more away, but at home, like Pete says, especially against Leyton Orient, surely you've got to go for it.
I think the problem with Neil Harris, one of the first things he ever said was, I've been away from Millwall now. I've learned a lot more. I've learned more about football and stuff like that. And I think that's half the problem because he, before when he was a Millwall manager, or the Millwallness that he knows is all about wingers driving down the line from the minute 0 to 90 minutes, running down the line, getting a ball into the box to a striker that can get on the end of it with his head or whatever. But now, because he knows a bit more about football, he's using different formations and stuff like that. And the idea of Harris coming back to Millwall is to play that direct Millwall way, but not direct over the top, if that makes sense. I think with last night's game, Harris is damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. Because if he'd gone out and put the team out that played against Bristol City, you would have had a load of Millwall fans turning around going, why didn't Amaku start? Why didn't Kelly start? Why did Aziz start? This is a perfect opportunity for Langstaff. And he's done it. It's gone Pete Tong. They weren't good enough at the end of the day. So all work together at the same time and beat a Leyton Orient team. But I can guarantee you, if we'd played with our starting 11 from Bristol City and lost 1-0, the first thing Millwall fans would have said is, why haven't we started these people that we signed? It's a good opportunity to bet them in.
Yeah, I know what you say. I do agree. But Leyton Orient, your local side, Joe, Leyton Orient, let's look at the start of 11. I did say he should have done a mix of the two, which he did. But for me, one of the worst things in there, and I'm not blaming Murray Wallace for last night. He's always had the Adidas crowd finders on. You'd always clip one out of play. But Murray Wallace wasn't the reason we lost the game. But it's more the fact that he didn't play Tanganga, Cooper, and Jensen to let them build on their fitness and also build on their togetherness going into the game on Saturday. For me,
I 100% agree. I think that Tanganga's only played one game.
Yeah.
So Tanganga should have played. Wallace, let's be honest, Wallace is not going to play any part.
No, he's not going to play
this season. There's no reason to give him minutes whatsoever. He's going to be like third, fourth choice, isn't he? So you're better off putting Tanganga in there. Saville, by the way, looked like he was playing with an injury most of the second half.
Well, he's playing centre back most of the game.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
And I understand the Roberts thing. Put Roberts in goal, because he played most games last season. Keep him fresh. But Tanganga for me should have played instead of Wallace at least.
Yeah, Joe.
My first major concern there, as soon as I saw that lineup, was that centre back partnership. I just thought all they need to do is run direct straight through the middle, and we'll get ripped. And from what I remember, I'm sure that's how they scored their goal. They just ran straight at the two of them. But besides that, even Brian was getting ripped all night, wasn't he?
Terrible.
That's the worst game I see him having a Millwall shot. He just gave the ball away so many times. He was getting ripped, looked so far off the pace. But by one or two, or two or three maybe, we did sort of see, I'd say the front line mainly, Aziz, Imaku and Langstaff, sort of something we all wanted to see. The rest of it, I weren't so sure of, but the performance as a whole was just absolutely shambolic. One of the worst I've ever witnessed. Well, we've had a few of them, but it's up there as one of them.
It's terrible.
And the problem is, I've got, because it's like 5 minutes down the road from us, they're our local team. Got a few friends that are like Orient fans that were at the game last night. They said to me before the game, all you need to do is have a shot at our keeper because he's horrendous. He's made so many howlers this season already in the only, 3 games? They said, just have a shot from long range, from anywhere. And the fact we didn't even have a single shot on target is damning, really.
I thought they looked decent, Orient. What did you
think?
Or did we make them look good? They kept the ball well under pressure.
They looked so comfortable. That first half, I know we had a little spell towards the end, but we tried to push on with a lack of real quality, really. But first half, we couldn't get near them. They were playing like one-touch passes, triangles, and they did look really good. But it's no help. We were just completely other end of them.
Did anyone see what Neil Harris said, speaking to Richard Cooley? Cooley, that is, not Cowley, for the pronunciation police. Afterwards, I don't know, I'm reading between the lines, in my opinion, he had a little bit of a dig at some of the players. He said, I've had people knocking on my door wanting to play, and I've had fans, a bit of fan pressure to play these people. He said, they definitely won't be able to knock on my door Friday now and ask why they're not playing Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's aimed at the likes of Langstaff and Imaku, because you see in his other comment, he said, we're crying out for a number 9 striker. Maybe we need 1 or maybe even 2 more. And it's like, well, what's that saying? How's that giving Langstaff any confidence? He signed him to sort of play that. I know he ain't directly number 9, but that role. And then he's we're screaming out for a number 9 or 2 more. I think, I just don't know. I think it's poor comments on his behalf.
I think Langstaff will end up going on loan to Charlton for the rest of the season.
Oh, Nathan Jones was there last night, apparently, and so was Ryan Longman.
Oh, right.
This was someone told me earlier. Yeah, someone that I know said, he was sitting in the 1885 club, and Ryan Longman was sitting next to him, and Nathan Jones was also there. I don't know whether he was looking at, Maku, because considering putting Maku out on loan.
He might be there because he's going to be our new manager.
He nearly was at one point, wasn't
he? Yeah.
He nearly was. But yeah, the Imaku, I get it, the players underperformed, but at the same time, I can't reiterate it enough. We've got to go for the juggler of teams at home, especially Watford, especially Sheffield Wednesday, and fuck me, especially Leyton Orient. To put Honeyman in that 10, I don't blame Honeyman for us losing the game. He's played where he's told to play, but it will naturally drift deeper. The wingers are on the wrong wings, in my opinion, so they'll naturally. I mean, that's how we conceded the goal, wasn't it? Through Aziz losing the ball. He tried to cut him through because he weren't on his preferred side, according to what foot he is. So I know people like to play this inverted wingers now, but it doesn't suit us. And like you said, Ken, he's sort of like Harris said, he went away and learned a lot, but he's sort of gone away a little bit from what he knows best.
Yeah, I think also the problem is at the moment is we're all crying out for 2 up top, and the problem is that we've only got 2 strikers. And what happens is when you put 2 strikers like Bradshaw and Langstaff that are pretty much identical to each other, and they're both running around. Well, look what happened. Bradshaw's running around like a blue-ass fly. He's gone and done his hamstring or whatever he's done. I think what we need is a big striker and a little striker, which is what he knows. When you've got that, then you can play two up top. But we don't have it at the moment, so you have no choice. You don't want to really play two strikers up front when you've only got two strikers. You're risking one of them getting injured, like we did yesterday.
Yeah. So leads me on nicely to what you just said. From what you just said, why have we only got two strikers? Why haven't we got a big striker? What is going on that is taking us so long that we're now 3 weeks into the season and we still haven't got our squad, all of the people we want and settled, ready for the new season?
Well, I reckon. I mean, it's the same old Millwall, isn't it? Really, because and if you look at, I mean, in the past we've been tinkering with the playoffs come Christmas, right? And you think, right, okay, we're doing that well. It's coming up to Christmas, coming up the transfer window. They should have all had them players in place who they wanted to get when the transfer window at Christmas. But no, they dragged their heels. Come to the end of January, we still ain't signed anyone. And that's Millwall all over. We're on the brink of making something good. You go, right, a couple more extra players, which a lot of players, like, who's the one you like, Joe, that signed for Ipswich last season? What we tried to get on loan. Kiefer Moore, they don't just push it over the edge to get these players. And it amazes me, you've got all summer to sort out your plans. And here we are, 3 weeks into the season, with like a week to go to transfer window, and we still ain't done nothing. Absolutely right. He knows. I could tell you where the strength in. Attacking midfielders, wingers, attacking players to get the ball in the box. Look at the speed like Leeds and that. I know they've got lots of money. I know that. And Burnley, they've got lots of money. But, then you look at other teams like the Lutons who went up the season before last. It is possible on a shoestring budget to get into the Premier League. It's been proved. The likes of Bournemouths and the Watfords and the Burnleys and all that, they've all done it. But we just seem to always let ourselves down. And then look at us now. We're a shambles. And I spoke to little Peter today. We're just shambles, not just on the pitch, off the pitch as well. Go to the club to get a shirt. They've got no smalls, they've got no mediums, they've got no printing, they've got no nothing. The shambolic last night about queuing. 20 minutes to get in because they only open 3 turnstiles. It's run shabbily from top to bottom at the moment. You know what I mean? Someone needs to grab hold of that club and clean it up.
Another thing to add to, as you're speaking about that pitch invader last night. That was embarrassing. No security.
Well, I didn't really see it happen. So I went in at half time. I don't know why, but my phone was. And earlier on, when I was trying to send you boys the link, my phone wouldn't load. I don't know what, but it's been fine all day. Maybe it's just absolutely melted from all the fucking things that have been pinging through today. But I had to borrow my mate's Wi-Fi to like fuel the stream. Anyway, I went in at half time, come back out, the stream had gone, which sometimes does happen. I just reload it, but went to reload it and there was nothing there. So I had to create a new stream. So while I'm panicking, I'm trying to do that. It's gone way over there, and I've just seen like a geezer resting on the floor of a steward, and then even the plastic going, fucking get down there. And eventually fucking Lurch come out of the shadows and a few others. But I didn't really see what went on. Like, little boy next to me said about it. Like, he was like 5 years old.
He was on the pitch for ages, like with no like reaction whatsoever. He couldn't have done anything to any of the players. He was just sort of running up to the players and stuff, and then going, "Give me the ball" or something. And then
was he dancing?
One guy. I can't really remember if he did. I think he did. Yeah, and then one guy, like big steward, like older steward, has just come trudging on, walking, and it's like, come on, this is embarrassing. Andy Marshall had to run on to restrain him. Well, that's just embarrassing.
Even down to the security last night. I left a full pint downstairs, come up and watch the game. And I see everyone standing in the ground with a pint. I thought, well, I'm going to go back and get my pint. So I went back and got my pint, walked all the way up and drank it, right? No one telling you can't drink or nothing. So it's just shambolic last night from, just the ticket office to the
top to bottom.
Security, top to bottom.
I got there early last night. I always get there first. I got there at 5:30. The fucking sun was out. Anyway, I went in and the boys were already in the boxes. We got the old Husky box, didn't we? And they was redoing it during the day. So we've got all like cladding put in and neon lights and 3 new TVs, pool table. And we all having a few beers, had some nice chicken tenders and things, and having a chat. And we were sitting out on the padded seats like early. Sun was shining. It was fucking what a lovely night. And then once again, it was ruined by the football. I'm not that bothered about staying in the Carabao Cup. I'm more interested in building a little bit of momentum and confidence and understanding, especially with the back three, 2 centre backs and the keeper, to take us forward into Saturday, because Saturday's massive, Ken, isn't it?
But I disagree on that, Dan. I think winning game builds confidence. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If we'd have won that game, we'd have been at last. I don't know, is it 32, something like that, of the cup, sort of near enough guaranteed a good draw in the next game, and you can blood these players. You know what I mean? You can blood them, get them into the team and things like that. And we just missed a massive, massive opportunity last night to get into the next round. And like I say, winning breeds confidence. Win that game. All the players are chopping at the bit to play Saturday. We've just won. Well, we dropped two. It would have been two clean sheets, and we got it against Orient, and the one against Hull. Onwards and upwards. But yeah, I'm very, very disappointed to go to that cup. Very disappointed.
Sorry, and another little thing to add. What I noticed last night, I really took attention to some of the players' body language. Right.
Yeah.
So these ones that haven't been playing, that have been on the fringes, this should be a big opportunity for them to show what they can do. And a lot of them's body language was terrible. They looked just not interested, as if they didn't want to be there. And I just thought, whoa, that's shocking on their behalf, because Harris has come out and said, well, they might not get that chance now.
He also said as well, didn't he? He said a lot of these players need to learn to understand what it means to play for this football club. So
he show a bit of passion and try.
He was definitely having a pop at the players. 100%. Sorry, there's been a donation there. Dino, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Super chats are open. You can donate to the channel if you so wish. If you don't want to, not a problem, but try and subscribe. Do me a favour. You'll be able to comment as well on the right-hand side. Striker situation, Ken, before we get into signings. Why didn't he start Tanganga? We all don't know. We can't answer that. We've tried. We can't. None of us see any sense in that. And he's surprised he let Nisbet go on loan. Now we've got one fit striker. And we need to try and bounce back on Saturday. Where do we go from here, Ken, on Saturday?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think we're going to absolutely tear Sheffield Wednesday a new one. I honestly do. I mean, we're obviously probably going to only have to go one striker now, but I think he's going to be a lot more direct. Just need to be more direct with the ball at our feet instead of more direct lumping a ball 60 yards, you know, and to be fair, I mean, to be fair to SA, I saw SA win quite a few headers last night when he came on.
Yeah.
But it's direct, which is what we want, but it's not the right type of direct, you know. Pass the ball, pass and move, get the balls down the line, cross balls into the box, try and create opportunities. In ways of strikers, I don't know, you know, if this new guy comes in, then for me, you'd have to put him in straight away. Any striker that you get now, you need to play two up top at least at home.
Or if not, like someone said earlier, a few people be saying, Fleming's coming back. You keep saying you think Fleming's going to come good, Ken, don't you? If not, he's not going to put Idemo in the 10. So put Eze in the 10, because
I think with Amaku, I think we're all like madly in love with him because he, you know, every now and then takes players on. But Idemo Amaku is not the answer. He's a great player. He's exciting, but you know, he's not amazing. And you start him, he doesn't really make much of an impact. Harris
has said that, but
all right.
Yeah.
But 25, 30 minutes, he could change a game, but he's not someone that's, you know, we're all looking at the moment for a hero. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if we're putting it on the likes of Amaku, who's, what is he, 19 years old?
Yeah, 19, 20, something.
Yeah.
And I think I said in the WhatsApp group a few days ago, like, and I know Kieran would completely disagree with me on this, but we do need to bed players in. Like
I agree with that.
Yeah, you can't have a Amaku starting games because he ain't going to impact it. At the moment, he impacts a game for 20 minutes. So use it, you know, and then
what it is.
Yeah, you over the period of the season, maybe not even this season, maybe even next season, he might start getting more minutes. But you know, there you go.
Talking about Kieran, I just see someone put in the comments earlier. Any news on us signing Marcus Hollis?
Oh yeah.
No, we are absolutely not signing Marcus
That's been
Hollis.
put to bed.
Yeah, trust me, we're not signing him. Spoke to someone earlier to do with Ipswich, and we definitely aren't. But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Langstaff. I do, because he will score goals if given the opportunities, but we don't seem to give players the opportunities. And I think it was you saying, Ken, that they've got no, or it might be new Joe, but no, like, they're going, when they're getting the ball and they're going forward, they seem to all be immediately looking to the left or the right or backwards to get rid of the responsibility. Confidence does seem low, and it seems very early in the season, Pete, for confidence to be this low. Are we in a shit show? Are we in a bad way, or do we need to be patient and Super Nil will turn it around, and in Super Nil we trust?
We're definitely not in a shit show, are we?
No. We could turn it around, but just to me, if you look, there's a bad vibe coming out there at the moment, isn't there? If you look at the end of last season, Febby fell out with Neil Harris, didn't he? Nisbet fell out with Neil Harris. You could see that Amaku had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, whether he's falling out with Harris, because Harris is not giving him the confidence. Do you know what I mean? And then he's saying about not knocking on my door on a Friday because you're not going to get in the squad because you had your chance and you blew it, son. Yeah,
I think I do feel that was definitely a dig at.
Yes, 100%. 100% is a dig. So on a striker front, there's 3 strikers that Neil, rightly or wrongly, has called out. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just got a funny feeling that Matthew weren't the same player last night as he has been for us in the past.
No.
They didn't seem to want to pick up the ball and run with it. And if he did, he weren't at the races, if you know what I mean. But
He was one of the ones that didn't look interested for me.
That's right.
In his defence, I think, I know it sounds very simple, and people might say, mate, you're just talking bollocks because it's too basic, but he's right-footed. You put him on the left like Aziz, they're going to cut in, and we're not the sort of team that should have players that cut in. If you give them the licence like we did in the second half against Watford, I know that Amaku was on the left, but Watmore went to the right. Look how much better Watmore was, because he was just knocking the ball past defenders and running. We're not this team that plays tippy-tappy football and inverted wingers and cut inside and do something brilliant. We're direct, we hit bylines, we get crosses in, or we knock long diags and we play off the big man, or if we ain't got the big man, we pick up second balls.
You know what, though?
Go on, Joe.
So with Imaku, sort of like counter-arguing what you're saying about his right-footed playing on the left, but I think that's probably where Harris might see him best, because how many goals has he scored for us? I've even seen him pre-season friendlies, and he scored Norwich again in the league last season. I think most of the goals I've seen him score for us has been from the left, where he likes to cut into the edge of the box. Yeah. And he scored from it. So from that perspective, I know obviously he might be better on the right, but
it's a bit of a thing on that basis, like players' best positions. Dan, how you doing, mate? He's like essay, like who said that fucking dog's gonna get a clip in a minute? Who says that SA is a winger? See, I always thought SA was a 10. Who says that Amaku's a left winger? Because when I've seen him play up front, I thought he was brilliant. Amaku, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these players ain't found, especially as they're young, they ain't found their best positions yet. We do now seem to be building like a very young side, which I'm on board with. But at the same time, it worries me a little bit. I feel like Lyndon Dykes is going to Birmingham now, apparently. I'd have been all over him. Because I feel like we need a little bit more experience across the pitch. As good as this young team is, and I said earlier that I'm happy to swallow it this season and we finish up where we finish up. Like, I don't know, some of the players are a little bit, what's the word? Not ditzy, but like they don't know their best position. I don't think Harris knows their best position. Do you know what I mean?
I think just writing on what Dan said there, I think, by the way, I said that SA looked completely lightweight against Watford, and I thought I didn't look up to it. And every single game that he's played, when he's played in that middle, because you even find him drifting into the middle now, even if he's been put on the left, he was drifting into the middle. And I think he's played superbly. He was quick, he was fast, skillful, he was determined to take players on. you know, and then try and create an opportunity. Weren't necessarily there, you know, the final ball, was it, last night? But I did feel like he was someone that was pushing to try and create something when he was playing in the middle. I thought he'd done really well.
Steve, how are you, mate? Good to have you back. Talking about those types of players, I always say this, and I always think it to myself. If you was to stick SA in Burnley's team or Maka in Burnley's team, do you think they'd be a million times better? Because the way that they like to play is not really, you know, as a team at Millwall, we're a little bit always on the defensive. We're always a little bit inverted, and we have to defend first and foremost. Whereas if you was to put either of those players in a Burnley, a Norwich, for example, maybe that ain't the best example, but a top-end side, Sheffield United, do you think these players would blossom in that instance, like a Maka and SA?
Just look at Nisbet. Put Nisbet in a Norwich team or a Leeds team, he'll score bundles. He will score bundles. Because he ain't, they're all trying to act like they're trying to, Bradshaw and the Gregory's running around like blue-eyed fly. Nisbet and Langsdorff are out-and-out strikers. You create them a chance and they'll put it in. We ain't creating no chances. So, yes, Nisbet and then the other player in another attacking team will be 10 times better, and they're bagging the goals. We don't create nothing. Look, last night, not one shot on target. Nothing.
That's our biggest problem, by the way. Like Pete's right. Our biggest problem isn't scoring goals. Our biggest problem is creating opportunities. Like, you know, if Langsdorff had 5 chances last night and missed all 5, you know, you'd then be slagging off Langsdorff. But the problem is a lot of Millwall fans are still slagging off Langsdorff. He didn't have a shot on goal.
No, it's not the chance to shoot on goal, is it?
Yeah, that's what they meant to do.
Yeah, I appreciate some of that. It might be based on movement, you know, as a striker. Maybe he's not getting in the right positions. You don't know, but we're also not creating opportunities.
This is why I praise Bradshaw so much, because someone said it in the comments the other day. Someone said, I don't get Bradshaw. He runs around like a fucking headless chicken. And then someone replied to it, weren't me? Someone replied and put, every striker that plays up front for us has to run around like a headless chicken. They're not like a striker. As a kid, when you're growing up as a striker, you know, your excitement is scoring goals. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of Michael Owen when he's taking shots against like a 13-year-old goalkeeper, and Neville Southall goes, "Yeah, well done, he's 13." But that's what they buzz and they thrive off. That's what their game is. But Millwall, it's different. Lee Gregory used to have to do it. He used to have to go out to fullbacks and close them down and win free kicks where he can, hold the ball up, drag the team up the pitch. Like a striker at Millwall's not really like a striker. You have to do other stuff outside of that.
You could argue where they're running around a lot, like headless chickens, they're probably doing their best to get in the right position. So I don't think we can necessarily blame them for doing that.
No, we're not blaming
Maybe
them.
it's our other players that are off the pace. Like they might get into a good position and then the pass is like a few seconds too late, or they're just not on the same wavelength, not playing the right pass for them. Whereas if you did and they got the ball at their feet, I'm pretty sure they'll convert like most of their chances. But they don't get them. This is the major problem.
And so they're not scoring goals, so they don't want to be like hit on by the fans. So they're showing their work rate, like doing all this work. Oh, well done. Well done. Brilliant. You've done brilliant. You know, but he ain't scoring a goal. He's not in the right position to score a goal. Look at Gregory. Worked his socks off. He scored 1 out of 5. He wasn't the greatest goal scorer. With the amount of chances he missed, Gregory. But Bradshaw is an out-and-out striker, but he worked on it. And when he was seeing work, you go think, can't really have a go at him because he worked his socks off. But his job is to score goals, not to run round all over the pitch.
I've always said that. Like, I want your strikers to not be lazy, but hang around, you know, in and around the box if you can. Wait for your chances and take them. But you said about Gregory missing chances there. If you're getting 1 or 2 chances every 3 games, you're not going to be in the swing of it, are you? If you're getting 5 or 6 and scoring one, you look like a hero. It's a fucking very, very difficult one. Right. Fuck me, boys. Been going 35 minutes already? 25.
35 already.
It is 35, right. So we put that to bed. We've got issues. We know that. Neil Harris has said we've got issues, okay? The gaffer, here he is. I'm still back in Neil Harris. Oh, by the way, just a quick one. A lot of people there, and we say about Millwall fans are fickle, but football fans are fickle in general. And look, we're Millwall fans, we're fickle. The other week, everyone was going, fucking Ian Fleming, you couldn't give him away, he's fucking useless. Now, loads of people in the comments are saying, we need Fleming back. Ken, I know you're a big advocate of that. You keep saying we need him back. He's going to come good.
Yeah, I think when we signed him, I think I said, don't judge him on what he does the first season or the second season. Judge what he does on the third. He needs to bed in. And I think he had a really good first season, and then he sort of was off it for whatever reason the second season, in my opinion. But he obviously is a talent. There is a talent there, and I'd say that he is probably one of our most creative players if he's on it. And this is why we say about I'm Harrison. I'm happy to back him. Yeah. I think that there is a plan, and I think that we will, in time, come good at some point. Tanganga at the back, Fleming back in. You've now got a couple of wingers in. If we get another striker, you've then got 2 good strikers. 3 good strikers if Bradders ain't that bad. I genuinely believe that there's a plan, but that plan can't be executed yet.
Rob Quinn said, Harris's outlook and tactical anti-creativity stance is the root of the problem. We don't encourage strikers to do what they're paid to do. Strike. We lack quality, and it's not encouraged. So, I mean, I'm taking on board what you're saying there, Rob, and maybe it plays into what Kenny's saying a little bit. But last season, let's not forget, I think we went unbeaten the last 7, lost 1 in the last 12. So has Neil Harris changed his mantra, shall we say, at the start of this season?
I think we just had a lot of players, Dan. As much as people go, we ain't signed no one. We have signed a lot of players. Yeah. And, you're asking for the likes of Femi Aziz, Kelly, Langstaff, all these players that didn't have many minutes before that game to be able to be really cohesive with each other and dominate a football match. But the truth is that when you had the likes of Denor back on, and Watmore's on the wing, Bradders is up front, all of a sudden there's a bit more cohesion because you know what they're going to do with them. But you don't know what Daniel Kelly's going to do. You only met him 5 minutes ago. Yeah,
very true. And let's not forget as well, he did point to this, Harris, as well afterwards. He said we had a very good result at Hull. He said he changed 8 players. But again, if you're worried about the lack of cohesion and understanding between the players, maybe don't change 8 players. I thought we'd have gone a lot closer to the team he played. I know we lost. Drew last time out against. So I thought we were going to go quite close to that. We know Harris loves a cup run. We know that down the years the cup runs have sparked us into good league runs. And I was quite surprised that he made as many changes that he did. I'm really surprised that he played Murray Wallace. I know I said we've all covered that. I'm really surprised he played Saville as well. But look, moving on.
Wes Harding didn't get in over Murray Wallace.
Yeah, is he not on? He wasn't even in the squad. Is he? I think the transfer deadline's tomorrow, isn't it?
Has there been a fallout there? Back to what we're saying about Harris, he seems to have a few falling outs with players recently.
Well, I think in the summer there was talk of Harding wanting first team football, and Wrexham definitely have made a bid. I know that for a fact. I know that they wanted Bradshaw, and they wanted Harding, and they wanted Longman. And I believe that Harding got told he could go, but not until we had ample cover. So maybe there's something in that. Maybe something will develop tomorrow. But we're talking about lots of signings coming in. Today there's been 2 more, and there could potentially be a third. The first one that materialised today, I think actually it was the second one that materialised today, but it's the first one that's got over the line. And it's Ryan Wintle, set to join Millwall on loan until the end of the season from Cardiff. Just before we went on air, he has signed for Millwall on loan from Cardiff until the end of the season. Ryan Wintle is a central defensive. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's like crying. Midfielder. Worked with Harris before. Pete's just learning this now. Played under Neil Harris before. Was been at Cardiff a long time. Fell out of favour with their manager, Errol Butt. And when Butt was asked about him in pre-season, he said, I don't want to talk about him too much. Boys, I mean, look, I'm Harris in. I know, Kenny, you are. I don't know where you, Pete and Joe stand, but I know you've got a lot of love for Harris and you know he knows the club. But can we try and explain this? Another central defensive midfielder joining? Seems like, to me, the fucking last thing on earth we need.
Yeah. So underwhelming.
I think
But then, another thing, I don't agree with is the fact that, for one, we don't need another central defensive midfielder, and for two, if he can't get in, a few people that I've seen have actually tipped Cardiff to go down this year, and they are down there. I know it's only 3 games in, but for someone that can't, I'm never really a huge fan of taking players on loan from like other championship teams, especially ones around them.
He ain't getting in Cardiff, and I would say we're better than Cardiff at current league position aside. It's only early in the season.
Yeah, I don't mind if it's like a proven top end championship team. Fair enough, like take them on loan. We've had some good ones, but this one for me, you can't get in Cardiff's team. I really don't know what it seems just like a pointless signing to me, but who knows? Time might tell. We could end up coming good for us. What do we know?
If Harris has worked with him before, which he has, I mean, I think he was out on loan. Where is he, the fucker? Let's do that photo. So he has since joined about half hour before we went on air. When Joe come on the stream behind the scenes before we started, I was frantically trying to search for the photo that I put up, and I found it eventually. I mean, if Harris has worked with him before, thinking about things, reading between the lines, he obviously thinks he's better than what we got, for one. But then he's just signed Daniel Kelly. We've got Alfie Massey's just signed a long-term contract. George Savile, I would argue, is like the main man in that midfield and the experienced pro. I think Casper Denor's has come good this season. Billy Mitchell's going to be back directly after the international break from injury. And George Honeyman always seems to get a game wherever he is. And then you've also got Ryan Leonard. So unless someone's going out, I can't work it out.
I think that I've just read what Steve Lee's put, and I completely agree with him. We only have Saville and Denor. Massey and Kelly are both 18, so they need time. And Mitchell's injured. So it does make sense. For me, it 100% makes sense. Massey and Kelly, again, if you go and put them in the first team and they don't perform, people will be going, wow, we should have gone out and got a more experienced midfielder.
Yeah.
And these kids can't be chucked in at the deep end. So I think at least for a kid that's not going to be, or a kid, he's a bloke, he's 27, I think, for a bloke who's not getting in at Cardiff to sit on a bench at Millwall, is one no different. And I just think, I think 100% it makes sense for us to do that. Harris has played him before. And also, Cardiff could play a completely different style of football that we play, right? So that's the only reason why he isn't in the Cardiff side. In the way that we play football, or try to, it might benefit him loads, and we might all of a sudden have a really good central defensive midfielder on our hands. So I think it makes sense, if not for just cover.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just thinking, it was similar with a couple of other players that we're going to get in, or maybe we have got in, and we'll get on to the next one in a minute. I don't like them, but I just think there's other areas that are more urgent, and I'm worried about budget and what we can spend wages-wise. And I just think we look at that. I mean, he was after Malumbi as well. And I thought that Daniel Kelly was sort of the buffer for that. All right, we didn't get Malumbi, but we've got Kelly. But I don't know, just like we urgently need other areas covered, and that area on the pitch and in our team seems to be the area where we have the most players available, position wise.
Yeah, but
Pete,
sorry.
If who's your best two then? Start with Pete. Central midfield. Who's your best two for us? They're all fit.
Well, it's an hard one. I suppose it'll have to be Saville and say Billy Mitchell, really.
You're not a fan of Denor, are you?
No, I've never been a fan of him, no. I just feel like at the moment, it should really get to me when you say another defensive midfield. I think we've got to change our nickname from the Lions to the Crabs because it's just getting ridiculous now. I'll scream out for that. Do you know, like going back to League One and 21, we had that great group of youngsters that was all attack-minded. Or, you know, even going back to Liam Trotter, who'll pick the ball up, and a lot of them didn't like him. They pick the ball up midfield and run with it. That's all I want to see. Not the side run, back people off. But we're just too slow, and it's just making us lethargic.
Like, I'm not saying he might improve the position that that he plays in, but I'm just thinking in the here and now we need a change of something, and he's just going to not really do that.
We need a brave midfielder that can go forward with the ball and pass the ball, make a forward pass. In Langstaff would maybe play off the back of the defender. So you play that ball through and he'd probably beat him fast, get the ball.
Yeah, but here's another question, Joe. I'll put this one to you. All our central midfielders all seem to play the same way. So is it that's the way that they play, or is it that's the way that Harris is instructing them to play?
Well, that's the question. Well, you've got me here because I think. Remember how Saville was in his first go with us? He was an attacking midfielder, driving into the box. He scored a lot of goals. And then even under Rowett, it's been similar. Since he's come back for this other spell, he don't go forward anymore. So I don't know whether he's not that old, is he? But he's a few years on him. It could be the way that they're being told to play. Casper Dinordo, is he... He's always been a central defensive midfielder. This is another central defensive midfielder. Don't remember Billy Mitchell ever being an attacking midfielder. So I could see it from both sides of the coin, to be fair.
I think the goal was signed to be that player that could pass the ball through the lines and through the eye of a needle. And people will laugh. Billy Mitchell used to be, before he met Gary Rowett, he scored. He was scoring goals for the under 18s, and he got 35-yarders and things like that. So again, it sort of plays into the Amaku Esse thing. If these players played in other sides, would they play in different ways where we see the best of them? Are they restricted a bit? It's a little bit like when we see showreels of players that might be coming. We're going to get onto that. You know, they look unbelievable in showreels, and then they come to Millwall and they're like, he looks like a fucking different player, because we're always going to be that team that is a little bit plays within himself. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I think Denor could push on this season. I wasn't overly impressed last season, but I still think he's got a bit of quality there, and there's more to come from him. And I think he's that sort of player. He's that sort of player that could have that sort of defence splitting pass, and then once you give him a few games and he starts to understand what's going to be Langstaff looks like. He understands Langstaff's movements. You might see it, as Kenny said, alluded to, like it's going to take a bit of time to bed in. There's a few new players there. Once they get to know how each other plays, then it might be 10 games in. I think we'll start to see it.
For years, will he get 10 games, mate? The fucking fans were raging last night.
Yeah.
Right, and it plays into, again, like what's gone on, where you know, why is the season started and we're not sorted? I believe it's because me and Kenny have this argument / debate all the time, is the lack of budget. I don't think we've got a lot of money in terms of in comparison with other teams in the division. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to wait. Like I said in the video I put out earlier, look at Ipswich. They've waited till the season started. They've now signed Jack Clark, Sammy Smodic, and someone else, because they're punching above in the division they're in. They've got to beg, borrow and steal. They've got to wait and see if there's any movement from this player who might not be getting in and thought he was going to, or this player who's been told now he's not part of the plans over here. So it's just, we always start bad anyway, and I still think we'll be fine. But I think, you know, we absolutely have to get a result against Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. And I think we will. 1-0 Tanganga Saturday. You heard it here first. That's what
I reckon we're going to go for an absolute barnstorm. Honestly, I think we're going to beat Sheffield Wednesday about 4-0. Don't ask me where the goals are coming from, but I think there's a plan.
3 own goals and a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, our opening 2 games, we've scored 4 and 3 and 3. What was it?
2, 5.
Now. Yeah. 5 goals opening 2 games ain't bad for our standards.
No.
We don't, what we,
midfield. Yeah. Am I here?
go on, mate. Yeah.
Firstly, I think Casper Dinor will be an out-and-out bowler this season. When I watched him against Watford, I thought he was constantly away from the pass, switching the ball across. I felt like his defensive duties were brilliant. He was sprinting back to make tackles and stuff. But more importantly, as much as I talk about bedding in, I think that Kelly is going to be an absolute player. Genuinely, I even just watching 45 minutes, and I think he'll probably surpass the Savills, the Billy Mitchells, the Honeymans. I think that he could be a really good player if we play it right with him.
Good thing of him is as well, he's a permanent Millwall player. Someone just said, by the way, why should I go on Saturday? And I was going to say, do you know what you should go, Johnny? Because I'm giving away 2 tickets in association, well, 4 if I post the other thing in a minute. With my Guava, I'm giving him tickets away every game, for home games, with my Guava on our Instagram. And I just realised that I should have announced the winner at 8 o'clock. So I'll announce it as soon as I'm done here tonight. 2 tickets available. Go over to our Instagram page and look through one of our posts if you want to try and win some tickets for Saturday. But why should you go Saturday? Well, look, we follow it through the fucking good and the bad, don't we? And at the minute, I don't even think it's that bad. Kenny thinks we'll tonk Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday won their first game 4-0. They lost their second game 4-0. They lost their third game 2-0. Like, it is what it is in this division. Anyone could beat anyone. And the way Harris was coming across last night he's quite confident. He said we've had some good performances. He did say we should have between 5 and 7 points, though, on the board. Maybe.
I'll tell you why, because I think that when you look at it, the Watford game, that type of game under Harris goes one of 2 ways. There's no draw in that game, is there? We're either going to win it or we're going to lose it. And the problem is under Harris, a lot of them games we win. We just didn't against Watford. Bristol City, we probably should have tried and closed the game out a little bit better, but we couldn't for whatever reason, and we lost it. But we scored goals, created opportunities. Just defensively, we was really poor because we haven't got one of our centre backs in the game. I think that we're going to. I think we're going to smash Sheffield Wednesday, and everyone's going to be calling Harris's name again.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely switch. About the other way, if we do get a result, cool, it will do. That's football fans in general. But look, people saying already in the show. I mean, someone commented before the first game. I put the preview out on the Thursday, and on the Friday, someone commented, "Went Harris absolutely has to go off this game before we even kick the fucking season off." Do you know what I mean? It is going to take time, but we always start slow.
Don't let Connor see that comment from Sven, by the way.
I see that. I noticed that.
I do. You keep your eye on the comments more than I do.
Yeah, I
was going to say that. He's good as a fullback. Didn't he play in that position the other night or the other day?
I'm trying to find it now.
I thought he looked brilliant in that position.
Who?
Dinore, when he's played at right back.
I haven't seen him play as fullback for us yet.
I'm sure
missing something.
Doing a job or something now. Remember, when was that game the other week when we... was it Leonard kept getting caught out of position, didn't he? Remember Leonard?
Yeah, that's when SA kept running back and covering for him.
I was at SA. I'm sure Dinore was doing some work down, and he looks to me that he could fit in that position.
No,
that might be his good position. You know? Yeah.
No, we don't need anyone else retracting. We need to start getting forward a bit. And talking of fullbacks, Pete, you may not know this either. Moving on to... This was actually, I think this was announced first today. But it's not been confirmed yet. But Millwall are looking, well, we are going to sign. Richard Cowley said it's still done. Millwall are going to sign Liverpool left back. I'm stalling you because of, I've got it. Callum Scanlon, is it?
Okay.
So again, I mean, look, I was a bit more excited about this.
Where's he come from, Dan?
He's a Liverpool player.
Liverpool.
Yeah, I know he's a Liverpool player, but where was he brought up? Like
Birmingham.
London?
Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham. Okay.
He was at Birmingham. Oh, okay, yeah. So he was at Birmingham until he was 15, right? And then he went to Liverpool, and he's never played for the first team in the Premier League. He has made his Europa League debut against someone. But this morning on the Lions TV WhatsApp group, oh, by the way, I've started a Lions TV WhatsApp channel, by the way, so that's available. Check the links on the socials. We've got over 200 people have joined that already. And it's just going to be me posting, obviously, like videos and updates. But this morning on the Lions TV group, some people come in sometimes with a little bit of joke text or whatever. I've just realised I spent youngster wrong as well. Put youngster. Oh, well. That's what happens when you're trying to do fucking 5 videos in one day. Joe this morning on our group put, we're signing Callum? Yeah, Callum Scanlon today. And I went, oh, where you hear that? And he went, no one. I was like, oh. Joe, literally this morning you posted, didn't you? We're signing a player today, Callum Scanlon from Liverpool. And I went, all right, didn't think nothing of it. And then, fuck me, we're in about an hour. Richard Cooley, for the pronunciation police, Richard Cowley, tweeted it, Joe. So what was the story there? How did you know before Richard Cowlinio did, the Don?
It was a bit of a random one. I've got a good mate of mine that was from down in London. He moved up to St Helens a few years ago. Personal trainer, and he just messaged me last night. He's not big into his football, so I thought it was a bit random. He goes, Millwall have signed a new player. This was like 11:15 last night. I thought, what's he on about? He don't know nothing about us. He's not interested.
Not even a football fan.
Yeah. And I thought, what are you talking about? Like, with a laughing face, he put Callum. But he says, shush, don't say anything yet. You heard it here first. I was like, Callum who? He goes, Callum Scanlon. I was like, right. How do you know about this? And he said, I trained his brother. And they've told me, like, it's already... He said to me, Millwall have signed. Like, as if it was a done deal. And I thought, well, I'll keep it quiet till the next morning. And then, yeah, that's where it come from. I thought it was a bit random. And then,
here you go.
Liverpool, and then a few hours later.
Youngster. Liverpool youngster. What a fucking idiot. I'm going to have to go and change that. It's getting my nerves already. So, look, again, on loan to the end of the season, Liverpool left back. He's obviously got quality about him. I don't want to sound like a broken record, boys, but do we need a left back? Ken?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think we play Joe Bryan because Joe Bryan is Joe Bryan. And we said, right, beginning of last season or whatever it was, it's like, it's a class signing. And I think, to be honest, we all was thinking about the Joe Bryan that was banging in 30-yarders and, really good. But he's injury prone now, firstly. I appreciate he brings an element of experience to the squad and stuff like that. But based on the fact that we've only got one left back anyway, other than Murray Wallace, that my opinion shouldn't play anymore. I think it's a fantastic signing. And if there's an option to play out,
what about Danny McNamara? Well,
but Danny Mac's a good right back. But the problem is Ryan Leonard's better.
But Danny Mac's been covering. So what Danny Mac's job is, in my mind, is he covers the pair of them because they're both injury prone. So when one of them's injured, I think Danny Mac actually plays better at left back than he does at right back. I agree. I'm just saying again, like I'm thinking, well, maybe we've got more budget than I think, which you always say, Ken. Maybe I'm thinking we're desperate for players. Harris has said players at the top end of the pitch are the fucking hardest ones to get, and that's why it's taking so long. I know we need more going forward and blah, blah. And 2 signings announced today are a CDM and a left back. And he's not going to be left wing back either, is he? He's going to be left back because we play a flat back 4 under Harris.
I think that, look, you're right. Danny Mac can cover at left back. Yeah. But as you saw yesterday, he's getting down, he's getting in the right positions, and he's having a cut in anyway on his right foot. He can't cross a ball that well with his right foot.
That's why he improved, because he got that taken away from him when Joe Edwards left. He was no longer a wing back; he was just an out fullback. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it, or maybe I'm thinking, well, we've got him to cover there, we've got him to cover there. But if this kid comes in, he's got to play then, surely.
I think so. Like I say, for me, Joe Bryan, isn't that great anymore. And I think he gets the privilege of playing because he's Premiership Joe Bryan. If you look at it based on his performances, I think he's had a couple of good games, but he's also had a couple of really bad ones.
I thought he was brilliant against Hull. Obviously, last night he was shot. So like, just take it like to a different place. Pete, obviously, I don't know if you even have seen all of this news, but I know how frustrated you are about our lack of ambition to go forward. So you've walked in tonight, and whether you did know, make out you didn't know. I'll say to you, we signed 2 players, so you go, brilliant. Ooh, and I go, a central defensive midfielder and a left back. What would your reaction to that?
Well, you don't want me to swear on this thing anyway, but it'd be like, the FFS words, do you know what I mean? So, Joe will tell you, years ago when we was on Sky Sports and we signed 2 players on deadline day at Christmas, Joe, wasn't it? And it was
Grabban and David Martin.
David Martin, and who was it?
Lewis Grabban.
Yeah, and they were the most 2 exciting attacking prospects from Crystal Palace, and I went over the moon, because it was attacking players, not defensive players. I'd cry out for this boy that can drag our team forward, like your Hurlock mode, your Tim Cahill's, one of them players that's just forward thinking, that just bust the gut, go box to box. That's what I cry out for, not this boring. I mean, listen, let's call it right. Last season when Rout was in charge and we was called and we got to revolve. That was my word. We got to revolve. And then in come Joe, and we tried to revolve too quickly in my mind, and then we come unstuck, and then we had to go back to basics. And now this is where we are now under Rowett. I think the same thing. There's nothing now improved. We're just hard to beat, or we should be hard to beat. There's going to be a lack of goals, but we're going to tough it out and we're going to stay in this division. Nothing more. Not the way I see it at the moment with this midfield arc and defensive. Like, there's nothing, no wingers, no strikers gaps. If you drop any one of them players out of that team, I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed.
There's no real, for me as well, there's no real standout hero. There's no
star. There's not one star.
Morrison, there's no
one player. Yeah. There's not one player would get in our squad, will get in a Burnley, a Leeds or a Norwich team. Not one.
You said that about Rowett, and I saw it going on today on our WhatsApp group. I was fucking busy filming and shit.
Yeah.
People were saying we've gone backwards under Rowett. Sorry, since Rowett we've gone backwards. What do you boys? What's your take on that? Kenny saying no.
I feel like back to the same.
Yeah. Great.
I think I said this today, that the ship was sinking rapidly under Rowett. I think that Rowett did a good job for a couple of years or a few years, stabilising. But that time was so bad under Rowett, and the ship was sinking, and he got out before it sunk. And Joe Edwards, the poor guy, that was his first ever drive of a ship. And he's realised that he can't do it. And we've had to bring in someone like Neil Harris that could bring the Millwall back and get that ship, floating again. I can't turn around. If we was at the end of the season last season, people would have turned around and gone, "This is way better than Harris, way better than Rowett, way better." Yeah, we're happy. However, we've played 4 games in the new season, and now everyone's up against him. And if we're 20 games into the season and nothing's changed, I'd get it, and I think Harris would go. Right, but we're 4 games in. Is it right? That's right, isn't it? 4 games or 5 games in. 2 of them were 3 of them were league games where we've had a 0-0 draw. What was it? A 3-2 loss and a 4-3 loss. Right. I think I said this in my video. Like, under Neil Harris, we're at least you're entertained. And them 2 games could have gone either way. They just didn't go our way this time. It is what it is. But in 20 games' time, I can guarantee there won't be anyone saying this is shit, nothing's changed.
Still think we're in transition now?
Yeah, well, you have to be. The amount of players that we've signed, you a Maku that still needs time. You've got Langstaff that needs time. Femi Aziz has only just signed. Danny Kelly's only just signed. If we've got this left wing back, he's going to need time. If we have this big, massive striker, he's going to need time. You can't just... If I become a plumber tomorrow, I ain't going to be doing new builds on my first day, am I? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to need to be trained. I'm going to need to know what to do. I'm going to need the experiences. It's no different for football.
Mm. No, I agree. And Harris did say that. He said just before the season started, they was going all around the ground, Sky Sports, interviewing all the managers. Some over Zoom, some at the ground, and they interviewed Neil Harris. They was talking about the Sarkic thing and what a big thing it was, and this coming season. And Neil Harris said this season is a completely different job to last season. Last season was a salvage operation, a rescue. He said, but now it's, if we can keep that bounce going, great. But if not, we need to look at things, and it's a completely different task this season too. And I think maybe Harris has been a victim of his a victim of his own success, because he done so well at the back end of last season. I think a lot of people were just expecting that to continue. Joe, did you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I kind of get what Kenny's saying now. I said earlier, it's going to take time, but I think emotions are still running high from that performance last night. And it was a fact that in the opening 3 games as well, he's sort of gone, I know we scored goals and that, but it's weird to say we still sort of lack a creative spark. And for him, he pretty much named the same lineups those first 2-3 league games, and everyone's looking, going, "Oh, why don't he try something different?" And I sort of see that stubbornness coming across in him, as we used to say about Rowley. So, yes, mainly that, and especially the whole game. I don't think we created many chances. Didn't create any chances last night. That's why I'd say it's pretty similar. You go back to Edwards, I know we was on a bit of a downward spiral, but we look more attacking, more creative. For me, it's pretty much the same style of football as we were under Rowett at the minute.
I think that if you had Joe Edwards now with the players that we've got, it could be a completely different story. But in Jake Cooper to play out from the back, with us and Murray Wallace standing there in front of him, it was always going to be hard work for him.
I still can't get my head around that. Why he's played Murray Wallace last night? There was nothing to gain and everything to lose. I was thinking today. Do you know what? Does he know that now we're bringing more players in, that Murray Wallace is never going to play football for Millwall again? So he's sort of giving them his one, go out and have one sort of thing. That's all I could think. It was just madness. Because he actually, I don't know, Harding wasn't in the squad. We don't know completely what's going on. But I think Harding gets unfair press. I think he's better than a lot of people think he is. And he'll do things. But to bring Murray Wallace back in, who's been injured as well, by the way, and start him, did he not think Orient were going to get over the halfway line? I can't work it out. It's a really strange decision to play Murray Wallace. But look, we've sorted it all out today because we signed a CDM and a left back. And they will improve us. Of course they will. But we still need, again, look, we're all screaming we need wingers, we need players at the top end of the pitch. And Harris said that as well. We've gone and scored 5 goals. SA and Watmore have both come good. And that's another reason why Maku's not getting in, because them two are firing. But we do still need, what we need is, I think, is a complete a change of pattern. We need to go to that 4-4-2. And Harris knows he couldn't because we haven't got the strikers to do it. Especially after Bradshaw getting injured, and he let Nisbet go. But today, again, I'm fucking absolutely flapping. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then my mate sends me a tweet, which was in, I thought it was in Russian. I couldn't work out what it was. It was obviously in whatever Serbian speak. They speak Serbian, I don't know. Apologies for my ignorance. He sends me a tweet, and I'm on Google Translate, trying to translate it. And I thought, it can't be nothing in that. An hour later, Richard Cowley oh, no, not him, not the youngster. Richard Cowley tweets it. Millwall bid €3 million for Serbian striker. What was his name? something Mialo or something like that. Mihailo Ivanovic.
I can't even remember myself.
Yeah, I'll go with Mihailo Ivanovic. He was definitely Ivanovic. Millwall bid,
I think you got it right.
or are prepared to pay €3 million, which converts to £2,532,015, if you must know. Forgotten his name, but I remembered exactly what to translate right now as the converter. A 19-year-old, 6'2" centre forward who plays in the Serbian league. His contract was running down, so he went out to Sampdoria in Serie A for a season. Didn't work out for him. He's since come back and signed a new 3-year deal. Well, this is it's a risk. Of course, it is. I always say that when you go abroad. I'm not talking Kevin Nisbet or the Scottish Four or Kevin Braniff. Is it a risk? Is it a brilliant investment for a 19-year-old? The only Serbian striker that I knew was any good was Mitrovic. And Richard Cowley did say that as well. So, boys, 19 years, again, very, very young. I've seen his show reel, and as we know, show reels can look brilliant. Yuri Skalat, I'm pointing towards his one. But yeah, that's the news, Pete. I don't know if you've seen that Millwall bid €3 million for this guy. And Richard Cowley's back's here now, so it looks like he could be on his way to SE16.
We need a striker.
We need a big target man. This is exactly what this guy is. I've watched the highlight reel. Holds the ball up well, links play, gets in the box, scores headers. Shock.
What I'm more interested in, Dad, I can't see your face, but what I can't believe that Berylson's found some money from somewhere. It must have been under his sofa or something.
We've had this chat many times. But this is what I think with that, just before you go into it. What I think is John Berylson's run it, the way he's run it for a reason the whole time. And obviously, he knew at some point, obviously tragically how it happened, he wasn't expecting that. But at some point, James Berylson would take over. You see it with, I've said this before, like the Eddie Hearns of this world. The son wants to make their own mark on it. And I've heard, I could be wrong, but James Berylson is saying, there's the money. Spend. And there's people at the club now, because he has to now answer to a board, they're saying, whoa, chill, James. Where usually a chairman will be saying to a manager, for example, Enzo Maresca, well, hang on, mate. Well, actually, I ain't said it to him. He's bought about 50 players. Like, hang on, mate, relax. I can't give you that much. Whereas James Berylson is saying, the money is there. Go and spend what you want. But obviously, the way Berylson's always run it, he don't want us to do a Hull, a Middlesbrough, a Derby, where you go up, sign loads of players, get relegated, then all them players need paying, you ain't got the money to pay them, you have to get rid of them, and you end up getting relegated twice. You know what I mean?
I think that you've got 2.5 million isn't going to buy you a lot in England.
No, true.
So and you've got to probably then give a little bit of credit to people like Gallen, surely. You know, if people I've seen a lot of people slagging him off, but he could become an absolute gem. You know, look at the likes of is it called Vicores?
Who?
Oh yeah, Victor Gyökeres from Coventry.
He's been linked for like 80 million or something now, isn't he? You know, he was just popped out of somewhere and made a kid. This is what we've got to do as a club. You know,
yeah.
2.5 million. He's 19 years old. If he goes and scores 20 goals for Millwall, you're going to make your money back at least.
He was not fucking well. Only having 7 chances created, scoring 20 goals.
Or if we're playing hoofball, he might get a chance.
Yeah.
Well, look, I've watched that show reel. I've put a video out on him earlier, and I've linked in his show reel. And it does show he does get in the end of a lot of crosses. But what he does, he's a bit like Peter Crouch. Like, he's big and gangly, but he's good with his feet as well. He links play well, gets the ball wide early, and then bombs on into the box. So I think you're right, Kim. We always say this. You've got to find the non-league gem, which in this day and age is going to cost you more anyway, due to social media, etc. Which, again, we've sort of done that with Langstaff for those in League Two. Or you get a homegrown striker, and Henry Hearn is scoring loads of goals, by the way, in the under-21s. But it's not really, I don't know, Neil Harris don't seem to go down that route. So maybe this is the answer. It's a risk, but with our experience and our history of Scottish players, I think I'd rather go to Serbian and Scotland and take that risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Pete, did you see this today? Or are you just learning this information now?
I did see snippets of it, yeah. I took it with a pinch of salt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did at first, but it has been confirmed by Richard Cowley that Millwall are after him. News at Denner put it out as well. So
yeah,
definitely must have legs.
Who's he actually play for, Dan?
Let me get it up.
Try. Who does he play for, Dan?
He plays for, I'll tell you. And I knew I remembered it earlier because it says dinner ready or something like that. What was it? And I said, look, you're thinking what? But you'll know. No, that's Scandon. My phone is absolutely rammed. There's a wall underneath the table. Mihailo Ivanovic, right? He's 19 years old. He was born in Novi Sad, Serbia, Montenegro. 6'2", centre forward, and he plays for Vojvodina. So I remember it's like Vojvodina. That's who he plays for. That's his current team. Again, you watch the highlight reel, and he does look good, but some of it's in like stadiums like fucking Welling United. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, but again, look, you can only you might have to take these risks sometimes. He played for Vojvodina, and then he had beans on toast, and then he went to Sampdoria for a bit. Didn't make the grade there, and he only played one game for Sampdoria. And since he's come back, well, he's played 38 games for Vojvodina, and he scored 10 goals. But he's only scored one goal since he's been back in 9 games. And you always get it on social media. You get some fans going, I fucking driving there myself. Do you know what I mean? Like we say about players.
Mate,
Go on, what?
that team, mate, it's stuck in, mate. That team is making me think of
What you had for dinner?
was it Virginia? No, something completely different. I'm thinking, Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
I was singing a song about Femi Aziz the other day, wasn't I? Can't remember. And his name is Femi Aziz. I was Aziz, yeah, not Aziz.
You know, you need that sort of player up there. You know, if you do go to long ball to win the knockdown, the old-fashioned, knockdown to the striker, and bang, got to win the header, and like Langstar will feed up with the old Toshak Keegan scenario.
Well, exactly that, and this is the thing with the wingers as well. Football's changed so much that I think it's almost gone too far the other way now.
Yeah,
and I think if we do go direct with a target man and get wingers hitting bylines, it would work for us because we'll be one of the only fucking teams doing it. We're not a team that plays a goal kick where the centre back. I've never worked this out. Where the centre. I know why teams play this short goal kick to try and beat the press and get numbers forward and break lines, but this short goal kick where the centre back will take the goal kick and pass it to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What difference does it make who takes that kick? I don't know. So I'm with you. I think it would definitely work. And like you just saying, like again, going back to Langstaff, like the service he gets, he's getting balls drilled at him from 60 yards against like fucking big centre half. Do you know what I mean?
Look at Poor essay last night. Like I say, he won their medals last night. He looked really well winning their medals, didn't he? Done really well. But that's not his game.
No.
That's not his job.
No.
To win headers in the second, like, you know, long ball. We've seen it last season. Long ball up to Bradshaw, time and time again. Why are we wasting that ball? You know, and you do see these people like knocking it around the back, don't you? Like, you know, and playing it out from the back.
I used to be all for it, but it's pissing me off now. It's too much. It's like doing it for the sake of doing it.
It's pissed me off from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It don't take a lot to piss you off, though. Darren Blake said the Harris and a Moody scenario. There you go. Spot on. Even Morrison and Gregory, I know they weren't like a massive. Morrison weren't a massive big man, but Gregory used to play off Morrison, didn't he?
But they worked together so well, didn't they? They knew like where each other were and things like that, you know. And to get the combination of the two strikers, they'll back teams up straight away. If you've got two good strikers scoring goals. I mean, it was in the other season, we had 3 people on the score sheet, 16, 17.
Oh, in League One, where we had Morrison, Gregory, and Aidan O'Brien.
They bunged in about 40-odd goals between them, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That's what frightens teams, when you've got players who can put the ball in the net. You know, they're watching out them rather than us watching out for them all the time. It's like when the likes of Norwich, Leeds, and Burnley come to the den, you know they're going to have 70% possession. And that's why when I said we had to revolve, we got to start doing that.
Well, we are, yeah, but I don't think we will. I think we're always going to be like Kenny said. Maybe Harris has gone too far away from what he does best. We're never. I mean, even I was surprised on Saturday when I looked at them whole stats at half time and I thought we could be 2-3-0 up here. When I looked at the stats, we had 28% possession. I'm like, well, if we need to go direct, then we need 2 strikers. But like Kenny said, even 2 strikers ain't going to be enough because as soon as something happens to one or he gets sent off, which will happen, it happens in football, we're going to be back to square one, aren't we?
Yeah.
So Joe, where do you think still we need to, even if we sign this Mihailo Ivanovic, where do you think on top of him, if he does come, we still need to sign players?
Maybe, I'd say possibly one other attacker with the injury in Bradshaw, even if it's a loan from somewhere. And maybe just one more winger, I'd say. And who knows, maybe with Longman in the stands last night, apparently.
Yeah, he definitely was in the stands. But someone was saying to me, someone said it to me, Mark, maybe apparently he was just popping home. Because obviously he's from down.
Do you know what?
And I thought, I said to my mate, surely he could have found something better to do on his fucking night off. Especially
you know what I keep forgetting about though, and I've seen a few people mention it in the comments, completely forgotten about Adam Mayer.
Yeah.
Like, how long is he injured for? When he comes back, I'm looking at it now, like, we might be getting ahead of ourselves a bit. We've just bid for this guy. We ain't necessarily getting him.
No.
But it's not all going to work straight away. But I like the idea we're going for younger players that could gel to build on the future. Like, he's bought the 18-year-old from Celtic, Kelly. I know they weren't Harris signings, but you've got Emaku sort of near the fold. You've got SE. He's been sort of trying to bed through Alfie Massey. This guy's...
Aziz is still
how old is Aziz?
21, I think 22.
Oh, there you go, another one. If we get this guy as well, 19 years old, I'm liking the style of that, going for
yeah,
sort of a young,
I do. But as much as I want young talent, I want us to build a team for the future. I am worried about it here and now. That's why Rob's saying get the Serbian and Coburn. But again, Coburn's only 21. Yeah. That's why I know I keep saying about, all right, we've got a good left back, but do we need left back? All right, this geezer's a CDM and Harris clearly rates, but we've got loads of CDMs. I would have loved Lyndon Dykes.
No, but with these 2 type of players, right? I'm telling you now, like, do you remember the old Richard Sadlier? You play the ball to Richard Sadlier, he'd hold the ball up. Yeah? He'd hold the ball up and bring players into play so you get down the wings. Bradshaw can never hold the ball up. None of our strikers can hold the ball up. You need someone like that, Coburn, and like that Serbian. Well, none of that Serbian, but if he's strong enough, you think, get the ball to him, play it forward, hold him off, and bring the other players into play. He goes forward and comes straight back.
In my opinion, the one problem with that, though, is you fire a ball into Bradshaw or Langstaff, and they're 40 yards away from the nearest Millwall player. They can only hold on to it for so long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be that.
That's where you need that attacking midfielder through the middle.
You know?
And SA needs to. I think he should be there permanently.
Listen, this is why I think it's going to happen. Right? This is what I think is going to happen. I think Fleming's out the door for 6 million, maybe 5-6 million. Yeah, and he's going to bring in them 2 strikers. I think that's a dot on the cards. Definitely. I think he's on his way out. Fleming, please, right? And 2 strikers in. That's what I believe. Wait up. 3 million for that one. And then they're looking at the other game. Where are we getting the money from? The Sal Fleming. Fleming's not injured. He's just not being picked because there's a transfer in the wind.
I can't see who won him, if I'm honest.
I couldn't see who wants it, but someone probably does. And they maybe
it might be an Emaku and an SA situation. You put him in the top side of that division.
Listen, it might be a 3 or 4 million transfer. Take it. Because the geezer's dogs thing, right? You know, he's rubbish.
What about...
I called him out 6 months into the season. I called him out and everyone was giving me pelt, was going, what are you talking about? He's done this assist, he's done that. I went, He had done nothing last month, and he haven't done nothing ever since. That first 6 months, he was brilliant, I've got to say. After Christmas, he went downhill rapidly. And that's why his value went down. That's why the season before, when he had a brilliant first start of the season, that's when you got money for him. 50 million, mate.
Should have done the old Paddy Power cash out when we had the chance.
Should have done 50 million. Bloody hell. What are we
A lot of
still?
people talking about Longman here. Boys, Longman, would you have him back at the club?
I'd have Longman.
Yeah. I think he finished last season quite strong.
Yeah. I'd have Longman all day long.
Well, I thought he was coming, and then they sacked Liam Rossignol. We had the big thing upstairs. I remember I was at my mum and dad's for a few days and thought I'll have a nice little week off here. And then Kavanagh and the others went, and Alex Aldridge and whoever, and then Steve Gannon come in. So obviously things changed for us. So Rossignol left or got sacked, which I think would be a bad decision. So I actually think that whole manager might be one of the first ones to go. And then Longman apparently didn't even go on their pre-season tour. Then all of a sudden he was getting in their team and looking really good. Then he got injured. Ken, would you have him back, Longman, at the club?
Yeah, we need a left winger, don't we? I know we got Aziz, but Longman both footed, isn't he? So
well, it's the thing with Longman as well. He can play, as we've seen, anywhere pretty much other than in goal.
Yeah,
I mean, so he's versatile.
We see him play up front a couple of times on his own last season.
Yeah, that remember QPR. He fucking took off his didn't he, and stuck him up front instead. But yeah, but left and right wing, I'm definitely all over Longman playing. Just play him on the fucking right wing so he can get down the touchline.
I love a player that cuts in like he does. Yeah, the way he cuts in, like he got that goal against.
He scored two similar ones last season, didn't he? One
love
Rotherham at home.
You know,
Yeah,
when he cuts in, you know he's going to like a little right footer or something. You know what I mean?
Leicester. I mean,
That's it. Yeah, Leicester. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when he don't have to go down the wing, just cut inside. Listen, they all know he's going to cut inside. It's all got to stop him. You know.
Paddy cracks me up because his name's Paddy, obviously. So sorry, you think Irish. And he's always suggesting on South American players. We was after a striker from Vélez Sarsfield. That's why, and he went somewhere else. But that's why I've got quite a lot of faith in that other one. What's his fucking name? Ivanovic coming in. People saying Fleming to he's off for $6 million. I think he's injured. Fleming.
I know.
Unless he's a good actor because he limped off, didn't he? When him and Billy Mitchell carried off the wreath for Sarkic.
No, I don't think it's gone very quiet, that one. It's gone very, very quiet. There's no saying about when he's coming. They normally get a bit of information when he's coming back. You know, I think like we've not heard nothing, have we? So, yeah, and it's all about opinions. I think Fleming is useless and I would get rid of him. And I'm not stupid. That's my opinion. So that's what it's all about.
I think that if we got offered $6 million for Fleming, I think we should take it because I don't think he's worth $6 million. However, you know, if you're getting offered $2 million or something like that, I think that Fleming is still one of our best players and will do a good job in the team.
I think with him being out, like, I agree with what Kenny said before. I think this could be a big sort of major breakthrough season for him. I think he might, well, I'm hoping, wishful thinking, he might come back with the bit between his teeth, bit of fire in his belly and give it a real go. And I think, hoping we see a lot better this season from him.
That Steve there, Leeds, has put a comment. Did Harris say that Fleming's back this weekend?
Yeah, he is back this weekend, yeah.
Is that what he said?
If going looking at it the other way, if Fleming comes back, and we're all screaming here saying we need to play 4-4-2. Where into that?
Well, you have to stick him up front for the time being, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He can play up front, can't he? Played in the Dutch League a few games.
Oh yeah, he did. He kept him up on the last day of the season. He scored the winner. Look, Fleming shoots on sight. Like, some people think it's funny, and it is quite funny at times, Matt. But I had no problem with him shooting on sight because he was taking the responsibility. Granted, a lot of them are still bouncing down the Alden Road, but you didn't mind it because at least he's got. He was fearless with his confidence, like with the free kicks. he'd take 10 free kicks pre-match and not hit the target at one of them. And as soon as we got a free kick, he's like, "I got this, boys. Don't worry." Do you know what I mean?
And
But
he's
he
like,
wasn't afraid to shoot, and he got a few maybe lucky goals from free kicks and stuff, where it took deflections. But that's one of the oldest sayings in football: you don't shoot, you don't score.
what gets me? Why did they when we had the free kick the other day? Why did they let Saville play it, take that free kick instead of Joe Bryant?
Oh, well, the other night.
Yeah, because he's meant to be the one who's got the great free kick. Saville's got dodgy free kicks as well. They're lucky to go in. Never one straight in the net, but that Joe Bryant one meant to fly straight in the net, and why is he never?
I don't think he's taken one for us.
No.
So John Haynes is saying there, rather have a Maku up front and more dynamic. A Maku played up front for us once, right? Only once. And it was against Preston, and he fucking tore him apart. The only thing he did was score, but he was just receiving the ball on the halfway line, players up his arse. He was just rolling them, travelling, shooting. He got man of the match there down Sky. He's never played up front since. This is the thing again, we're like position. What is he a 10? Is he a winger?
Yeah.
I don't think he's a left winger.
Don't think we know his best position yet.
No.
Yeah, look, someone just said, I said that about last night, that Dan Aggie, that he tore us a new one last night. I'll be like, Harris, take a look, mate. Try and get him in.
Was he a right winger?
Yeah, and he scored their goal as well.
Do you know what someone said to me while I was streaming? What makes this to me? You do know Darren Pratley's playing centre midfield for them when he's 40 years old.
Madness, isn't it? Madness.
But they just looked well drilled, didn't they? They just looked confident and well drilled, and we looked the complete fucking opposite. But why is it? What is it with me? It's not just last night. It's not just for Harris. It's been. I mean, look at Joe Edwards. Won his first game 4-0.
Yeah.
Why are we so inconsistent with no matter what manager we got? Well, we're brilliant one game and absolutely fucking horrendous the next.
How many times I said in my comments, Jekyll and Hyde? You could never get
consistent over an amount of fucking game, like one game, like not even.
You can never get the old team. Like if we ever win a game, there'll always be one outstanding player in that game that we won. You'll never get 4 or 5 that are all on song together. There's always only one, and we can never get like, oh, we had a great can't pick man and match because there was so many good performers. We never get that because the next week it'll be rubbish. The next one steps up. They, like I say, lack of consistency. Jekyll and Hyde, just one week they're interested, the next week they're not interested. Look at them last 6 games at the end of the season. All the players were bang up for it, and that was brilliant. But we won't get that, unless it's like dire need for it. But it's just so inconsistent. And like I say, one player would be brilliant one week, it'd be rubbish the next week. We just can't get.
Well, they'll come off the bench and be really good, and then they'll get a start and be shit.
Yeah.
So many players like that. Yeah.
Look at Maku, you think Tuesday night, let's take the ball by the arms and that put in the performance. Rubbish. All of them rubbish.
Here's a question. Joe, Ollie Burke back.
I did just say that.
Yeah, he. Do you know what? I think there's a lot of mixed opinions on this. I've heard a lot of people hate him and give him stick, but I liked him.
Yeah, I like him as a player, but his fucking Instagram account. He says things to his missus.
Yeah, that aside,
closed doors. But I love you so much. You are my world. Like, who talks like that in fucking behind closed doors?
Yeah.
No. Maybe
that aside, but
I do that.
Kenny's only saying that because
we got our boys. We have a little wind up with them. They absolutely hate Burke. Or only 1 or 2 of them. Who I'm talking about, Joe. They hate him, and I went. The only guy I know that I get, I can stand up. If he picks the ball up, I know his end product was never much great, but when he took the ball up, he would run with the ball. He would run with it.
He was direct. We didn't have many players like that at the time.
Yeah, I'll take him back tomorrow.
Ken?
I thought he was too lazy. I think if the ball was anywhere near him, he'd work, but he never tracked back. He looked knackered after 20 minutes.
I'm not one to talk, but I put on a bit of pudding, didn't he, at fucking Werder Bremen. I remember people putting photos up of him. Was it Werder Bremen he was at?
Yeah.
Recently, I mean, Ken.
Huh?
Recently.
Yeah.
I think
Steve Lee makes a good point. Consistent players, I always say that. Like Joe Bryan, I know like he's a bit fucking weird and he's in and out of his form, but if Joe Bryan was at the top of his game still, he probably wouldn't be playing for us, would he?
No.
Right.
I think
There must be something in our training schedule where the players look so unfit and they don't seem to have that pace. And I know I keep going back to the Legion. I know they've got money, but you see them players are athletic, yeah? Our players are not athletic like these other teams are. If you look at them, they proper look like athletes. Our ones look like players from the 70s sometimes, you know what I mean? And they just got the athletic build in them, like a lot of these Premiership players have got. I know we ain't got the money and we ain't got but you just got to look at the standard. Yeah? That guy can run from the back and get back in, like a defender could get up forward and run back again. And that's why they don't concede so many goals, because they're so fit. When you see teams break away against Liverpool, the defenders are back there, Arsenal back there. You know, our ones, when they call out a position, we're done. Yeah, we're done.
I think the problem with that, Pete, is that when you look at like our defenders, like your Jake Coopers, your Murray Wallaces, your Joe Bryans, even your Ryan Leonard, although he puts a shift in, your George Savills, they're all like of the old era, aren't they? They're old players. And
exactly.
Say Tanganga's got that athleticism, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah, 100%.
So this is something up for debate whenever you're ready, Dan. Which is exactly why I would never have Jake Cooper in my side. I'd rather have Wes Harding.
Why?
We can talk about that later.
No, we can talk about that. Go on, Mike.
Yeah, okay.
Pace the bird.
Yeah, I think that this is only my opinion. I think that Jake Cooper was a fantastic defender when football hadn't evolved. So before football had evolved and it weren't tippy-tappy running directly at central defenders and it was more balls in the box and balls long like we do, Jake Cooper was a great defender for us. However, he scares the life out of me now whenever he has a player running to him. He's had 3 out this season already. He gives away fouls when we're attacking for a corner or a free kick now. If he ain't giving away a foul, he's getting himself offside. And he's not a threat anymore. And also, I don't think that reliable as a defensive role. And I just think that someone, if you're talking about, your athleticism, Pete, and stuff like that, Wes Harding is an absolute unit, runs fast, can header a ball, and defends really well. I don't think he's done anything wrong, Wes Harding.
Yeah, I do agree with a lot of what you're saying, but at the same time, you're saying football's evolved. Wes Harding is not a footballer; he's still an out-and-out defender.
I agree, but I would say that I'd argue on the basis that Harding can play better football than Jake Cooper, and also I've seen Wes Harding plenty of times run through the middle with the ball and then pass it. Whereas I've seen Jake Cooper, the minute the kickoff goes, it goes back to Jake Cooper, and Jake Cooper swings his massive giraffe leg at it.
You're not alone, Ken. A lot of people are agreeing with you.
But look, I like that full.
Last thing about Jake Cooper, just going on it, because we moan about all the other players. He also isn't a captain. There's nothing captain about him.
No, I do agree with that.
So if there's some things that do need to change, for me, Jake Cooper this season alone has made quite a few mistakes.
Yeah.
And he's meant to be our captain. So I think that's something to look at personally.
The thing is, it's very difficult, to take the captaincy, because he's going to get in under Harris for now. So to take the captaincy off a player that's playing, he's saying, well, you're good enough to get my team, but you're not good enough to captain the side. It could cause a little bit of thing. So who going forward, and you can't say Saville because he's fucking older than Cooper. Do you think Tanganga's a captain in the making, boys?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Even Leonard for now.
Leonard.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is you don't want a fucking royal situation where the fucking, bless her, the Queen dies and then Prince Charles takes over, becomes king, and obviously now he's ill and old. Should it be passed straight on to Prince William? Do you know what I mean? Like you don't want to keep chopping and changing it. I think if you're going to look for a new captain, you look younger. and you look to the future, especially with like the young team we're building.
Tanganga alone
Yeah, I think-
for the championship. Tell me that now.
Yeah, I do as well. I think that your captain should have nothing to do with that. I think that your captain should be the leader that's in the dress, the one that's helping the youngsters out at training, the one that's on the pitch fighting all the time. And for me,
Tanganga being that, I don't know him, but I just my opinion, looking at him as a character, I think I'd imagine him to be quite quiet. I don't see him as that player that the young players can lean on, whereas someone like Savile, I do.
I do see Tanganga having a go on the pitch sometimes, though, like more than some others, like quite vocal. And I think he would be a really good captain because, yeah, but bar Savile, the obvious one, most experienced one. But if you're looking at the future, I'd say maybe next season, as I've alluded to, building around. I think that we're going through a transition. These older, experienced players are soon going to be phased out. The likes of Hutchinson, Wallace. Say Cooper might have one more year before someone else comes in over him. And I think Tanganga going forward would be a good shout to lead our young squad. Because he won't be, he's not old, but he's still a bit more experienced than what the rest of them would
What
be.
is Tanganga, 25?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, we're building, it's what I always wanted us to build a young team, like Pete said earlier, the team from 2000, 2001. Like, they got thrown into it because the club went into administration. He said, you're going to have to pay the kids. And that's how they ended up coming good. But I don't know, as much as I love it that they're all youngsters, for the here and now, I'm a little bit, I wouldn't mind an older Red, I wouldn't mind the Lyndon Dykes. I don't mind Savile being or Cooper being in the team. Not that, I agree with Kenny, I don't think Cooper's like that much of a leader on the pitch. I was saying in the video earlier, I always look at more Savile and think he's more of a captain on the pitch. Although he ain't officially in the armband, do you know what I mean?
but even our vice captain's Hutch, and I don't really see him doing much as a captain.
No, Hutch is the club captain. So if Hutch plays, Hutch is the captain.
Right. Yeah,
If he don't get in, obviously, which he doesn't, Cooper's the captain. Difficult one.
Yeah, you watch. Every time I've said this about Jake Cooper, he does something special. So
yeah, I think he looked a lot better at Hull with Tanganga next to him. I think he gets unfair press. Cooper. I know he has. I mean, I've got no excuses for him or Hutchinson for that Bristol City game. I would do the live streams. You always get a little idea of who's been on the ball or who's played. And I don't think I said Sean Hutchinson's name in the entire match. They was missing in action. That was a joke, the space they had, Bristol City. But again, Cooper, you don't play 350 games for the club if you ain't doing something right. But I do. Look, he is coming to the end, but he'll know that himself. But I still don't think it's that. Was he 29? 28, 29?
Is he?
Cooper is now. I
You
think
might
he's
be right. I thought he was pushing like nearly. I thought he was 30.
He may well be. I thought he was.
You might be right. Well, it's not that far off, is it?
Google out.
What's that?
Get the Google out. Check him.
Yeah, we got Cooper when he was about 23, 24.
29.
29, yeah.
When's he 30?
His birthday's next week.
Oh, no, it's not.
I'm joking.
Little bit out of his
3rd of February he's born. So he's 30 next year, which is, I mean, we said in terms of our team, it's quite old, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Michael Heisman says Cooper needs a competitive partner. Oh, sorry, a competent partner. Well, he's got Tanganga now, and he was a million times better against Hull. But do we know now that Murray Wallace is done? Hutchinson is come back, and I mean, I was buzzing. Again, I'm a fickle football fan because Hutchinson come back. I went brilliant signing. Played a couple of games. I went, yeah, brilliant. And he played against Bristol City. I'm like, well, what the fuck do we get him back for? I'm no different to anyone else. You know what I mean? But do we need another one in there? I know Connor would like to sign. He loves Charlie Creswell, doesn't he? See, that didn't happen.
Did you see what he just put on the group for a little while?
Group, yeah.
That's all right, yeah.
It's got to be the craziest shout I've ever heard. But mind you, someone else put it, didn't they?
What?
Casper Denor right back.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone put it. Casper Denor cannot play right back. He's the most left-footed player I've ever met in my life.
I'll put him on left back then.
Yeah, but he's not left wing back. He's even a stretch. But don't forget on the Harris, we're a flat back four, out and out.
Law's right-footed.
Donald's left-footed, isn't he?
He's right-footed. I swear he's right-footed.
Is he? Fucking hell. That shows what I know. Cooper is 29. Cheers, Steve. Yeah, 29. 29. All right, boys. Well, look, we've been going for nearly 2 hours. We're getting his actual birthday. Yeah, Alex Mitchell was another one we let go. But the news today is, if you haven't already, check out, where is it? There it is. Our post-match analysis from the Leyton Orient game. It is a post-match of sorts. It's also me giving my opinions on how we can, quite an easy fix for some issues that we've got. The news was followed up by Ryan Wintle is set to join Millwall on loan. That has since been confirmed by the club tonight.
Could have brushed his hair, couldn't he?
I know. I thought he looks like he's trying to get Oasis. He's trying to get Oasis tickets, isn't he?
Stay that collar on the shirt.
He's trying to get Oasis tickets, the scruffy bastard. And then Liverpool youngster, I'm going to go and change that as soon as I'm off air. Signs for Millwall. We signed the left back, a CDM, and we're after this guy. Millwall bid €3 million for Serbian striker. I said this is Joe off screen, right? Someone's already changed his Wikipedia page as well. Look, he's shortly joining Millwall. He comes from Serbia, and he'll fucking murder you. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, so it could be the new Bermondsey Bergkamp.
Ivanovic. Whoa,
Ivanovic. Whoa, he comes from Serbia. He'll fucking murder you. Brilliant, isn't it?
Well, he'll end up being the new Bermondsey.
Look about this new signing. Look, one of the crabs. Yeah, I've got a crab for you. Another midfielder. Right? Okay?
Where have you pulled that from?
It's just the side of the computer.
What number's he got on his back?
Number 10, I think it is. Playing, is that right?
Show us that again.
Billy
He smelled
Mitchell.
like crabs the whole time.
Billy Mitchell, Dinore.
Turn the other way around.
There you go. Sideways he goes.
Come on, you crabs. Come on, you crabs. All right, boys. Fucking hell. The Millwall Mitrovic. Chazzo.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, fucking hell. The Woolworth War Crim. Fucking hell, we're dipping a bit deep there. Oh, dear. Yeah, Pete, you've missed an opportunity there to talk to Steve. You walked past us last night while we were waiting for our Rhino. You were deep in conversations. We'll say hello next time.
Oh, okay, Steve. No problem, mate.
Oh, Steve's like over your way, like the wrong side of the water. I don't know how far away from you. Yeah.
Oh, East London, Steve.
I think he's dagging them. The Serbian sub, more like.
Right.
Oh,
Deep in combo.
fucking hell. Are you going to Stanley Arms, Pete, on Saturday for a few beers with the boys?
Yeah, I suppose I will do. Then we're going to go out afterwards for a drink. Going up your end of the world, Dan.
Yeah, we're bound.
I think Bromley or something, Beckenham or...
You can't even mention
Like
Bromley, mate. That place has scarred me for life.
My mate said, is it you? I met you up in the Alba that time to collect some money. Was it in the Alba I met you? When you lived Gelton, I don't know what I collected off you one night. Is that with the Alba in Sidcup I met you? Do you remember?
The Alma in Sig, yeah. The Alma in Sig Cup, yeah. That's not, yeah. That's as far as I go. I refuse to go to Bromley anymore, mate. I can't go over that way. I'm further out now anyway. What are you going up there for?
We're just having a drink with South London mates. Yeah, we're starting up in the standing, and we're just might go London Bridge even. But I think I said we'd go for change Beckenham Bromley way or something. You know.
Oh, nice. Well, I won't be joining you, mate. Bromley scarred me for life for personal reasons. Let's leave it there, boys. Let's end it there. But thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your comments.
Saturday, just a quick one, boys. Oh, actually, will we winning Saturday? Yes or no?
Wow.
Yes.
Was that 3 yeses?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope so. Well, we'll do score predictions this week anyway, and a preview up tomorrow as well. Please subscribe to Lions TV.
Come on, you Lions.